Welcome to the new sound of online radio. Welcome to the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network. 'Cause you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven. A mix of today's hits and hard-to-find favorites, combined with the most entertaining and intriguing talk anywhere. This is your sound. This is the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network at UBNradio.com.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to Mostly Sports. On this fine Tuesday afternoon, I am Mike, your host. I'm solo right now. Jay is he's stuck in a little bit of traffic, so I'm going to entertain you for a little while. But first, we want to thank you all for joining us, however you may be doing so. If it is through iTunes, YouTube, and now streaming on iHeartRadio, let us hear your thoughts. Keep them coming on Facebook, Twitter. Keep them coming at Mostly Sports. We appreciate it. And because I'm solo for the first, I don't know how long it's going to be. That's why this is interesting. Give me a call if you want to talk about anything. 323-843-2826. I'm also going to be on the UBNradio.com website right now in the chat room answering some of your questions there. All right, so obviously we're going to talk a little bit of basketball today. A little controversial finals, especially Game 5. We're going to talk some U.S. Open. We're going to do a little follow-up on our Bachelor talk from last week, and then a little bit later we're going to have Andra coming. But right now I'm going through something that I want to share with you guys. I am in the process of moving, okay? My wife, my daughter, and I just bought a house down in the South Bay, and we're moving from Santa Monica down to the South Bay. And it's consuming every single thing that we do, that we pay attention to, everything. Anywhere we go, we're looking for boxes. You know, Seinfeld had a sketch about that. It was hysterical. He walks into a funeral and says, yeah, that's a nice box up front. But we're consumed with moving. And I've moved many times before. Moved into college, moved out of college, moved into a house in college, to the dorms, all that stuff. I've moved into New York City after college, okay, where it seems like it is so beyond stressful. You want to, oh, wow, everybody's left me. I'm in this room all by myself right now. This is fantastic. My producer's gone, the intern's gone, and my sound engineer's gone. So it's just you and me right now. So, yeah, moved into Manhattan, which I thought at the time was the most stressful thing I could possibly do, because let alone having to execute getting the truck at the right time, and hopefully there's, you know, a spot open outside your apartment, you know, on 82nd and 3rd Avenue, which there never is. Moving into an apartment in Manhattan has to be one of the most stressful things. Up until this point, there is nothing that I've done so far that is, I don't even know what the word is, that where everything has had to lock in the right place at the right time more consistently than it is right now. When I moved out here, when I was moving in with my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, we had to have the truck picked up at this time, go to my place. I only had X amount of time to pack, and then get the truck over to her place. And then we had to leave enough space in the truck so we didn't have to take a second trip and get her stuff into the truck, get it to the new place, because they only had moving hours between this time and all that. That was pretty stressful as well. Not even close to this, okay? Since we bought this house, we want to fix it up a little bit nice. It's not a fixer-upper by any means, but we need to do some things to the house. We need to bring the electricity back up to code. That was one of the big things. Switch out the heater, and we need to paint. Okay, those are the three main things. Also, we need to do the cable and the carpets and all that. Anyway, I got to be totally honest. Up until this point, everything has been totally smooth. We have the painters coming to start in on this because they need to be done with this room so that the electrician can get in and ground these wires and blah, blah, blah. All this stuff that I pretend like I know what they're talking about, and I have no idea when they're talking about a ground wire that needs to be 6 feet away. Anyway, that's really boring. It's boring talking about. It's going to be boring for you to listen to. Anyway, all this stuff is locking in, okay? We have friends helping. We have my in-laws picking up the truck for the big move on Friday. Everything is perfect. The electrician is on pace with the HVAC guy, with the electrician, with the painters, the carpet people, all that. Then today, everything went a little bit sideways. I had to go from Santa Monica up to Burbank, back to Santa Monica, down to Manhattan Beach, back up to Santa Monica, over to Hollywood, right I am right now, doing the show at Sunset Gower. For some reason, I went home and I turned on the TV real quick just to get to Sports Center, just to watch a little bit of what's going on in the sports world, because I've been so out of it for the past little while, and my cable was off. No big deal. It hasn't happened before. Went to the Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi wasn't working. I said, all right, this is weird. This has never happened. I've lived here for 5 years. I call up, and they say, yeah, you have an appointment for next Thursday to put the stuff in the new place, but right now your cable's been turned off. Okay, that's fine. Just turn it back on, then we're good. And then shut it off on Thursday when we need to, and then we'll move on. Everybody's happy. They said they can't do that, okay? Now, I just got done telling everybody how great Time Warner has been throughout this entire move, okay? They've been great. I called up. It took me literally a minute and a half, 90 seconds, to say, hey, I'm cutting service here in Santa Monica, moving into this new place, start it up, even swap. They said, bring all the boxes, all the wires, all that. We'll switch it all out there, save you a trip to the Time Warner store, whatever. I was loving it. I was telling people, I was shouting from the rooftops how great Time Warner is. Forget Dish Network, forget, AT&T, Uverse, forget DirecTV, which I was thinking about. So today they tell me they can't reinstall my cable for 2 days. All they need to do is flip a switch, I would think, get my cable going for 2 more days, not even for me or for my wife. I don't even care about that. But we have a 2.5-year-old daughter who we need to keep occupied with cartoons, or toonies as she calls them, so that we could finish packing and moving stuff. That is the only way we can, because we've taken all of her stuff away right now and put it in the new house. Anyway, I know I'm on a soapbox. I'm rambling here, but that's what you do when your co-host doesn't show up for the show. Anyway, call them today. They wouldn't turn the switch on or whatever they have to do without canceling my new appointment for the new house. And I said, well, how is that even possible? Can you tell me, can you give me a window of when the appointment would be? They said, we have to reschedule it. I said, give me a window of when the reschedule is. If it's like a day or two after, whatever, I'll deal with that. If it's 3 weeks later, I can't do that. They couldn't let me know. They transferred me. Luckily, I was in the car half the day today, so I was on the phone with them. I think I added all the numbers up for over 3.5 hours trying to get this done. Being transferred and apologized to, and I understand your problem, this and that. And I had to tell everyone, I said, I know this is not your fault. You gotta figure this out. This seems like such a simple solution. Apparently it's not. Because when you call up to order something, when you call up to order that NFL package in September, they say, all right, hang on one sec. Okay, how's that? Is it on? Yeah, all right, you got Red Zone? Good. It's going to be an extra $15 a month. And it's so simple. So simple. They can't do that. They wouldn't let me go. Anyway, I'm going to digress a little. They said, right now your appointment scheduled for Monday then. I said, no, it was set for Thursday. They said, okay, we have one available on Thursday. I said, that was my original time. I know we're recording this right now. Time Warner, you're not sponsoring this show. We don't want your business. You're not sponsoring the show. Anyway, after 3.5 hours, they said, we're going to have a supervisor give you a call and take care of all this. That was about, 7:08 Pacific time right now. That was about another 3 hours ago. Nobody from Time Warner has called me yet. Now, what's funny is when we got down to the new house, the first piece of mail that we got, obviously they know when you're moving, all that. We get all the new information about the neighborhood and everything. The first thing I pulled out of my mailbox was, welcome to the neighborhood. We want to give you $200 off and the football package for free if you join DirecTV. And I just looked at my wife, smiling. She said, do it. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to, but I will be probably switching over to DirecTV. If anyone who's listening to this show right now, please give me a call, 323-843-2826. If anyone has any issues, Time Warner, DirecTV, let me know. I need some advice here. Time Warner has been so great to work with for the last, since I moved to L.A., I feel like I've had them. They've been awesome. Like I said, I call up, say, hey, I need Red Zone back. They say, all right, cool, you're good. This is Sunday also at like 9:55 every time I do it, week 1. Yet they managed to do it no problem. Again, number 323-843-2826. Any advice, anything? I know some people are so partial to DirecTV, especially when it comes to the football, the baseball package. I don't have time to watch 162 baseball games. I love my Yankees. I'm on the West Coast. They're on the East. Fortunately, a lot of their games, not anymore because they're playing like shit. Fortunately, a lot of their games are on ESPN, MLB Network. They do it when they can, especially when they're playing the Sox, the Mets, anything like that. But, yeah, I'm seriously considering a move from DirecTV to DirecTV from Time Warner. Anyway, that was it. I feel a little better right now. I know you guys might be bored out of your mind. I didn't get to see any of the pictures that Jarvis was putting up for the DirecTV Time Warner stuff, that's funny. I'm sitting here watching my own show just to see the pictures Jarvis puts up. Anyway, all right, I got to save basketball. Jay's looking for parking. We're at Sunset Gower Studios in Hollywood right now, and there is apparently our producer Vanessa told us a premiere right down the street at which theater? At Oh, okay. Because the premieres are usually up the street on Hollywood and Vine at the Chinese Theater or Kodak. I'd never heard of the movie that you say, but I also took a spin around Sunset Gower. They're filming something, so there's no parking anywhere. Parking's bad on a good day. This is a bad day. And I'm guessing they also don't have Jay's name at the front. But I'm going to say basketball for him. We're going to talk when he gets here a little bit of basketball, a lot of basketball. The U.S. Open, which is coming up shortly. I feel awful that I haven't been giving this the attention it deserves. I haven't put in one DraftKings squad yet for golf. I know some of you are listening say that sounds like the most boring thing possible. But I'll forewarn you before Jay does get here. He's been putting in fantasy teams for esports lately. I know a lot of you don't even know what that is, but you're basically making a fake fantasy team on people playing video games to see how they do. That's basically what I know about esports, but apparently it's all the rage right now and blowing up with the kids. Vanessa, is that true?
It's very popular, yeah. I'm always seeing news about it on Synopsis.
What Synopsis?
It's like a business article.
The business article. Okay. When you have people like Colin Cowherd and Mark Cuban who are investing in things like these, there's a lot of big people, names you would know, artists, actors, musicians, athletes who are investing in esports. That's blowing my mind. If this is becoming a thing that we would actually have to debate on this show, not if a poker player is an athlete, but if an esport guy, a gamer, is an athlete. Because these guys have trainers, they have nutritionists, because there is some stamina that comes in with this.
They have these huge arenas filled out.
Huge arenas. There's one, like I was saying last week, right on Olympic, just west of Bundy. I didn't know what it was. They said it's the something stadium, and I said, "Holy shit, what are they doing? Like that's a small stadium. They're not gonna be able to put whatever they would put there. They're not gonna put football, basketball, baseball, anything." But I was like, "Oh, what's it gonna be? Like a soccer stadium? Something? Nothing. It's esports. Esports is taking over." Does anyone talk to anyone anymore? Like go out in public and actually like interact with each other? I sound like such an old guy asking this question, but if you're forced to, and it's all just Snapchats and Instagrams and all that stuff. Does anyone even do Facebook anymore?
I personally don't, but that's only because my family is a bunch of stalkers.
Okay. Your family's stalkers, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Interesting. I feel like me too. I'll send my mom a text. 3 days later, I'll get a response. But, my buddy Nick from high school puts up a picture, and she's writing, "Oh, he's so beautiful," within, 2 minutes of him putting it up. It's a little weird. All right, we're going to have Andra on a little bit later, too, to talk about a little relationship. And obviously she needs advice from me and Jay. And we need to get the update from V-Money about the bread guy versus the OC guy. Is there a new guy, or is it just still those two?
It's still those two.
All right. You're good with the cliffhangers. So we need to follow up on that. Hopefully Jay walks in right when we start talking about this, because we got to talk a little bit of The Bachelor. I know, and I put it up all over Facebook and Twitter about how I've never watched a full episode before 2 weeks ago. And Jay said, "Do me a favor." This was on, I think, Monday. He said, "Do me a favor, watch the show for me, just so I don't sound like a total a-hole by myself. So I have something to talk with you about." Which, as soon as he asked, I appreciated that. I said, "Yeah, of course, I'm going to watch it, because that's great banter for the show." So I did, and guess who just sat down? Welcome, my man. How you doing?
What's going on, buddy? How we doing?
What's happening?
What is premiering out there that the whole world is shut off? And there's
What was
no
it?
fun?
Just V saw it. Some movie I've never heard of. It's at the ArcLight, so it's
What
not
is
that
it?
big.
The Purple Demon.
Yeah,
No, the Neon Demon.
the Neon Demon.
Come on.
Never even heard of it. That's why it's premiering at the ArcLight, not up the street at
Dude,
Grubbin's Theater.
At least be the Bourne movie.
Oh,
Be
that'll
s-
get the real release on Hollywood Boulevard,
Be
not
another
Sunset.
national treasure movie. Be something.
Got a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
Rotten Tomatoes. That's what it's all about now.
Beauty-obsessed models become jealous of a 16-year-old who takes the fashion world by storm in L.A.
That sounds up your. That sounds your
Compelling.
wheelhouse.
Compelling
wheelhouse
and
for you.
rich.
It premieres in 10 days.
10 days. Wow. This could be the most expensive show ever, because I just said fuck it and parked
Keanu Reeves.
in the no parking spot.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh no.
So we'll
I
see.
might be driving you home later.
We'll see what happens. Or to the impound lot.
Did you park in that temporary? You did. You
I
just went for
parked
it?
in front of the sign, though.
Oh,
so,
shit.
But no, that's the point. So, like, it should start
Oh,
where
I
the
thought you
sign
meant
is.
right underneath.
No, no,
it.
no,
Oh,
no.
okay.
Like, so, I mean, that makes sense, right? Like, if a sign starts with
I think so, but it would terrified me. I drove around a couple times because I wouldn't want to do it.
Well, you're a homeowner now, man. You don't you can't afford a ticket.
Well, you missed my whole rant before. I went on a nice little tirade about moving and how everything has to lock in. And the one thing that's screwing me up beyond belief, everything's great. The electrician, the HVAC, the carpet people, the painters, everything. The one thing that's screwing me over is Time Warner Cable.
Why? I heard you talking about DirecTV. I was listening on Facebook Live. Plug.
Facebook Live. Very nice. Very nice.
So, what was your problem? What's your problem with
I was everything was said. I called them. I'll give you the very extremely short version. I called them about a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
Said I'm moving into a new residence on this date. When can we do the cable? They said Thursday 9 a.m. I said cool. Cut my cable at the Santa Monica residence, and then to South Bay. I'm going to do that. They said cool, no problem. I was on the phone for like a minute and a half. They said bring all the stuff. You don't need to go to the Time Warner store. We'll take care of it all there. I said great. That was fantastic. That was easy. I told probably half a dozen people how phenomenal Time Warner is.
So why no DirecTV?
Because I've always been Time Warner.
Why?
It's so much better.
No, you can't. The sports packages.
That's the thing. That's the thing. I get the football package.
Okay.
Okay. I don't need the baseball package. The Yankees are on all the time, and I don't have time to watch baseball games.
Yeah, but like this week the U.S. Open's popping up.
Yeah.
The DirecTV always has like amazing coverage of the U.S. Open.
They got cool coverage of that. I just get the basics. I get the Fox Sports coverage and the regular Fox.
Yeah, I don't know if
Fox Sports has like 12 channels now too.
But like the Masters coverage on DirecTV is incredible, man.
Yeah.
You get like all those channels. You get like
Not
the
worth it to
Amen
change
Corner. All right, fair
Not
enough.
worth it to change. Anyway, they screwed me up. They cut the cable at the Santa Monica place.
So you're
And apparently they
cableless.
can't just turn it on.
Yeah.
I just said, all right, just reactivate it and then shut it off when I move.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, yeah, we can't do that without canceling your existing appointment and then moving it like 2 weeks down the road. And I said, F you people. They transferred me around for 3.5 hours. Finally said a supervisor was going to call me. He hasn't called me. If he happens to call me, I might need to run out. If I get a number I don't know, I might need to run out and take it.
You answer numbers you don't know?
No, that's why this has got to be it.
It's like rule number 1 in my life.
Yeah.
If I don't have you left, I don't know your number. I'll leave a message and I'll call you back.
Oh, I rarely do. Rarely do. But in this case, I have to. Anyway.
Crazy. You're a busy man, Mike Scovotti.
Nonstop.
Have you watched any sports?
A little bit. I feel bad. That's what I said, too. I said we're going to talk a little U.S. Open coming up this weekend, and I feel awful that I haven't given it the attention it deserves. Like, it's...
Time Warner, you suck.
You suck. Nice work, Jarvis. That's what I said. I said,
Very
I'm
nice
talking
work.
here. I don't have time to look at the camera, do all this stuff, and then look to see what Jarvis is putting up. That's perfect. Nice work, Jarvis. Nice work.
So did you watch that? Like, so I've been working every one of these finals games,
Okay.
and it's been very busy. So I don't get to watch and break it down as much as I'd like to. But last night wasn't as busy, Monday night, so I got to watch a little bit more, and I felt like every time I looked up, Kyrie Irving was just making a shot.
Yeah. Sorry.
What are you munching on? What are you munching on over there?
I got some road fruit.
What the fuck is road fruit?
Road fruit in L.A.
Really?
It's those guys on the side of the street that sell the half or the pints or whatever it is with fruit in them. You put a little chili powder on it. It's delicious.
Dude, I
I'll give you
never,
some.
ever,
Road fruit.
ever had the balls to do that.
Oh, it's fantastic. I'll stop every one.
Really?
That's what you just said is we could break this game down however we want. Draymond going out, Bogut getting hurt, Love not doing anything. But you're right, because every time I looked up at the screen and I was watching the game,
Yeah.
they were making shots. That was it. That's it. You want to break this down, that's as simplistic as it gets.
What were they? So they both went for 41.
Yeah.
All right. My theory on Kyrie right now is like this Kevin Love thing, him getting hurt and then him like just being a complete non-factor has made the game so much easier for Kyrie because they've gone from like the quote-unquote big three to just the big two.
Big two.
And it's like if you're Tyronn Lue, you're just saying to Kyrie, yo, you get the ball, attack. And he just has one mindset and one thing that he has to do, attack and score. And for a guy like that, he's not a great assist guy. He's not a great distributor. If you unleash the hounds and let him just go, that's when he's always going to be at his best.
I totally agree with you. With Draymond being out, especially after Bogut got hurt, you don't have to be Phil Jackson Zen master to say, enough with the threes, just get the ball to the rim.
Yeah.
You got two guys who could get the ball to the rim whenever they want. And that's it. And you got Love pushed out, and he's, just waiting for that three, and He's missing. I heard a great stat on him today. For his first, well, I'll say this. As an actor, when you go on an audition, one of the first things I learned is make sure, for a lot of these auditions, you have the script in front of you, call them the sides. You don't need to have them memorized. So it's okay to look down every once in a while and all that stuff. But every teacher has said, know the first line, inside and out, and the last line. No matter what, know that first line so that you're not starting off bad looking down at your paper. When Kevin Love makes his first shot of the game, he shoots 63% for that game. When he misses his first shot, he's shooting 40%, just below 40%.
I've always wanted to know those stats because, with the DraftKings stuff, you know, if I have a lesser priced guy that I know isn't going to be a volume shooter, I always worry if he misses his first shot.
Yeah.
Because those guys, a lot of these guys, will just, shrivel up like a snail. And they're just they're good. He missed his first shot last night. He was 1 for 5. Only took 5 shots.
Yeah.
33 minutes of
That's
basketball.
exactly like you were saying. And when you're dealing with those guys, those cheaper guys on DraftKings who might be coming off the bench, who could go for 17, they're coming in cold. So you're right. If they don't get into that rhythm on that first shot, that could be it.
That's like Stanley Johnson for Detroit. You know, if he comes off the bench, and I've rolled the dice with him, if he misses his first shot, I know he's done. But if he makes his first shot, that's the flip side of it.
Right.
You know, a lot of these guys make their first shot. It's like, all right, it's on. Now they're about to go 6 for 7 for 12 or 15 points and maybe get to the line a little bit. But that's a telling stat. And as you said, with Bogut going down, no Draymond Green, that was a little bit of fool's gold last night.
Exactly.
You know, so all the pundits and all the people, they've found their blah, blah, blah. It's going to be, Bogut won't be back, obviously, but Draymond.
What's the ruling on him? Did they say? It looked like a hyperextended knee, but
it looked nasty. If he plays, that would be pretty incredible. But Draymond will be back, and you can't oversell the importance of this guy and what he means to this team. You just can't. You know, so they're a completely different team with him in the lineup. Well,
I tweeted out shortly after Game 4, or after they handed down the suspension. And I still stand by this. Obviously, last night was proof that I don't want to say I was right, but that I was onto something here. When Kevin Love went out, when he got ruled out, was it Game 2 for the concussion? It was a 1-point line move in Vegas.
Yes.
Okay. Draymond Green goes out. Draymond Green.
Yeah.
It was a 1-point swing in Vegas.
That was a weird line.
And I put up and Vegas is rarely wrong. Okay. They blow me away how they consistently know that Oklahoma State and Nebraska are going to put up 47.5 points in a game, 48, 47. I'm always blown away. Vegas is never wrong, except on this. I said right away, Draymond Green is worth at least 3 or 4 points on the Vegas line, more than 1 point. That's absurd.
Okay, but here's my question to you. I agree with you 100%. All right, but Vegas is not necessarily trying to make a line that they feel is exactly what's going to happen. They're trying to make a line that's going to get equal amount of money on each side. Or
they want to keep it 50-50.
So I think a lot of people, and I thought this, I was like, wow, like you said, Vegas is never wrong. So to see a line only move 1, that made me think, wow, maybe I'm supposed to bet Golden State here. You know, because the line didn't move that much.
But if you, again, this is, I don't know if this is splitting hairs or what, but I've been betting Golden State every game. I bet the over the first 2 games. The first 2 games it did not hit, by the way. It's gone over every time.
I hope you bet it last night, man.
I didn't. I'm off the over because I was off on it.
See, last night was the over game, though.
I did
with
because
no Draymond.
Because if Cleveland is going to win, that game has to go over. Okay, that's kind of been the theory that I've had. I want Golden State to win this. I enjoy LeBron suffering. I really like Golden State. I like everyone on this team. I love this team. I didn't bet it last night because I said I don't like Cleveland enough to bet them getting 6, but I'm not. I don't like the clearing of 6 points for Golden State. So I ended up saving whatever I would have bet on it. I didn't win anything, but I definitely didn't lose it last night. Draymond's definitely more than 1 point.
Way
last
more
night
than 1
showed
point.
that. Last night showed that.
That game should have been it should have been about a pick 'em. That's how important he is to that team.
Of course.
So yeah, but as I was saying, it's fool's gold. All right, these guys go out, they shoot. What are they? How many? LeBron is 16 to 30. Kyrie's 17 of 24. Give me a fucking break. He's not going to go 17 for 24 again. That was like the one. So that 17 for 24 is probably going to go over to Steph Curry next game. I've been wrong the last 2 weeks on this show. 2 weeks ago, I said Cavs in 6. Last week, when they were down, I guess they were down 3-1 when we did the show, 2-1, 3-1. I was like, oh, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's.
Oh,
just,
yeah, because they won in.
It wasn't 3-1, but it was like I just thought it was over.
Yeah, because they won in Cleveland the night before.
They were up 2-0. No, last Tuesday.
Okay.
They'd won the first 2 games very easily.
Oh,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
So I have been 100% wrong the entire series. I think Golden State wins Game 6 pretty easily, if you want me to be honest. I mean,
Golden State or
yeah,
Cleveland?
Golden State.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. You can keep saying Steph's not shooting well. Clay, they're not shooting well. They still put up 31 and 28, I think, last night. But we kept saying
Clay was great. Steph not.
we keep saying they're not shooting well. They're not shooting well. That's not going to happen again, but it's happened again. Okay? There was something that I was thinking after the game before that, after Game 4, where Tim Legler got on ESPN and started talking about it right away.
Timmy Legs.
I said, why? And I remember thinking this during the game, and I said something to Jen. She was like, yeah, whatever, I don't care.
Good friend of the show, Tim Legler.
Tim Legler, he listens. I said, why is Steph Curry not bringing the ball up? I asked Jen. She was like, I don't know. Shut up. I said, just I've seen defenses. It looks like they're playing a zone when he's bringing the ball up because they're just waiting to see what he does to get out and pressure whoever or just stack the box, whatever. And then I was watching him when it's either Iguodala or Clay or anyone else, Harrison Barnes bringing the ball up. He's sitting in the key waiting to move, and he's just getting knocked around just to get him the ball up at the top of the three-point line anyway. Why are they not having him bring the ball up more?
Because they play him off the ball quite a bit. They want him coming off screens. They don't. I mean, that's not how they initiate their offense. Also, that being said, they had to change everything they do because Draymond is such an important part of what they do offensively.
Mm-hmm.
As far as getting knocked around the lane, yeah, that's an adjustment that I don't love that because the first thing, like one of the first things you're taught in basketball is like if a guard is coming off a screen and your guy is setting the screen, bump the guy. Just
right.
like when the little guys go down there,
tiny little bump.
Just bump an elbow here. Make them think twice about wanting to be down there.
Right.
So in a game where you're severely undermanned, I just think the strategy was like, just, all right, let's see if we can get hot, make a lot of shots, and win this game. But we're going to have everybody back Game 6. We're going to go win it in Game 6.
I got to sit further back. You're staring at the back of my head here.
So let's not get anybody hurt. But yeah, I mean, I've been wrong about everything. I have not been wrong about Kevin Love. I've said it since day one. I said it last week. I said it the week before. Incredibly overrated. He was never one of the 10 best players in the league. He is a statistics hog on a bad team.
Mm-hmm.
On a good team in the finals, he's just a waste of space. And it's kind of sad. I mean, he should have sold his fucking. I mean, what could he have got for his seat last night?
Who, Kevin Love?
Yeah, like $100,000.
Probably.
I mean,
whoever bought his
today,
$17,000 for those tickets.
Yeah, whoever bought his seat would have had a better statistical night than he did.
Now, all the BS aside, it was a phenomenal performance by LeBron and Kyrie.
Phenomenal.
Okay? Yeah. Just reading off some of these stats. Highest points per game when facing playoff elimination in NBA history. Throw the top 3 out there. What do you think?
When facing elimination. And they won the game or just facing elimination?
Facing elimination.
Jordan and somebody. Jordan and Pippen.
Jordan and Chamberlain.
Jordan
you know who
Chamberlain.
number 1 is ahead of both of them?
Who?
LeBron James.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How many?
32.5 points per game.
Oh, they're their average. Okay. Oh, they're average in elimination games.
Yeah.
All right.
How about this one? The Cavs' final 25 field goals were either scored or assisted by LeBron or Kyrie. The last one that wasn't was a layup by Iman Shumpert at 5:27 left to go in the second quarter.
That's what you have to do. I mean, you have to, and I said it last week, the Love injuries help them because it moves LeBron back to his net. Like, he's the best power forward in basketball. He shouldn't, every minute that guy plays at small forward is a waste of time. He needs to be playing the 4, and that's where he's at his best. That's where he is controlling everything that is going on, offensively, defensively. And, now you have a little help from Kyrie. But it's exactly what I was saying last week. They need to, fuck spreading the ball around. You're not playing the Hawks. You're not going to – the Channing Frye games with 5 or 6 threes are not going to happen.
You can't bank on those.
This is the finals. This is when stars win. Stars win finals.
Mhm.
And that's why people are so hard on him if he loses this to going 2-5.
Right.
Because this is when stars win.
Well, you also, I listened to a very little bit today. You can talk, and we always talk, we're so quick as a society now to say greatest of all time. Tom Brady, greatest of all time.
Historic,
Yeah.
as Mike Scovotti likes to say.
Like to call the UFC.
Historic.
Did you see that catch by Mike Trout the other day? Greatest of all time. Well, not really. Anybody over 40 will tell you, oh, you're over 40. Willie Mays, obviously. That was, the best because of what it meant and situation, all that stuff. Point being, when we're talking greatest of all time, and LeBron is going to be in that conversation, whether he wins this one or not. If he wins this one, then yes, we can start talking about that. He doesn't have the supporting cast. When you talk about Magic, he had Kareem. He had some ridiculous people. Jordan had Pippen, all this stuff. Brady doesn't have much. Brady has an awful
Nothing.
AFC East that's going to get him to the playoffs every single year. And nobody from Boston who knows anything about sports is going to argue that.
Yeah.
You get 6 games against the Bills, the Dolphins, the Jets, you're okay. That's 6. That's usually 5 wins, a lot of times 6. Point being is the numbers came out today with LeBron. This is only the second time I think somebody's dropped 40 on his team when he's put up a hell of a game.
I think Wade's done it 5 times.
Yeah.
Mo Williams has done it twice.
In a playoff game.
Oh, in a playoff
Yeah,
game. I
yeah.
apologize. Okay.
When LeBron gets somebody to score 20 points on his team, I think he's like 83-33. Okay?
All right.
Not bad. That's just one person with 20 points. When he gets somebody who drops at least 30, which has happened a couple times, I don't know the exact number. He is 78%. He wins his game 78% of the time. So he just needs a little bit of a wingman.
Yeah.
Okay?
Just one, though.
Like a D. Wade.
For sure.
That was great. Great situation down there.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan had Pippen. These guys have it. Steph has Clay. We expect LeBron to do this all by himself. Okay, this is his 13th year in the league, and we've expected him to do this himself. Who was his wingman in Cleveland the first couple of rounds?
I don't know. I don't buy it. Who was Michael? I mean, obviously Scottie Pippen was great. LeBron has had enough, though. I mean, you can't be 2-5.
But he hasn't. He keeps losing.
I don't care. You can't be 2-5. Well, what about in Miami? They didn't win 4 in a row in Miami.
They got pretty lucky one of those times.
And they got lucky to win one of them.
To win
You
one.
should have been 1-4 down in Miami in the finals. And so your argument of, like, who did he have?
No, he's 1-3. He should have been. He was 2 for 2, right? 2 wins, 2 losses.
Yeah,
in the final.
That's what I'm saying. He should have been. I mean, the
1-3.
the woulda, shoulda, coulda games.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not a great argument, but yeah, I mean, Ray Allen making that 3 was like a 4% chance of like the ball getting tipped out. Blah 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 blah. But your argument of like who did he have? He had 2 Hall of Famers with him, and he was 500 in the finals. And like a lucky 500.
Who the Hall of Famer? Dwayne Wade.
And Chris Bosh.
Don't say Chris Bosh is going to the Hall of Fame.
I don't think Chris Bosh is great, but Chris Bosh will be in the Hall of Fame.
No
I mean,
way.
it's
He
not
goes.
even
If anything, it's for sympathy.
sympathy for what?
For his career ending so quickly because of his heart. He's not going. Chris Bosh is not going to the. If they're letting Chris Bosh into the Hall
Chris
of
Bosh
Fame,
will be in the Hall of Fame.
Chris Bosh gets into the Hall of Fame, then the Dellavedova is going to be on a ballot.
He's
Get
a
out of
2-time
here.
champion, man. Hall of Fame, guaranteed.
Not a chance.
$50 bet right now.
Another bet done.
Check it.
Will you? Did you get that on tape?
On
Do you
tape?
even know what on tape is?
On tape? What is it?
Yeah.
1974?
You don't even know how to Snapchat. Dude. I sent you a Snapchat the other day. You haven't even looked at it yet.
I'm saving it. I like to save yours. Like before I go to bed, open up your Snapchats.
All right, so you've been so far off with your
I
predictions.
don't know about men Snapchatting.
You're
other
taking.
men. What are you trying to
Dude,
say?
all right, first of all, we're like 2 boys Snapchatting each other. All right.
I'm gonna look.
I'm
at
not
it. I'm gonna look
Snapchatting
at it
you
now.
like I'm not Snapchatting. No, I don't think. I think it's actually gone.
Is it what?
Yeah,
So if I don't open it, it's gone.
I took
Vanessa?
it off.
Confirm that.
I took it off. I got a special VIP status on Snapchat. I can
wait.
take it off.
Genuinely wait like weeks. Yeah, it might disappear.
Uh-huh.
But days, you're good.
So you can send a Snapchat and then decide, wait, I don't want to send that, and like it. So what are you talking about over here? Do you have special Snapchat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't. Vanessa's shaking her head.
All right. So
I think you sent that to somebody else.
I hope not.
Whoa. Hey now.
All right. Cleveland at home tomorrow night. Well, Thursday night. Favored by 2. Who wins this game?
No, I said it earlier. I love I love it so much that I actually made a bet with a stranger. He was like a friend of a buddy of mine that came up to Brewhouse. I bet $100 bet with the guy, and I took Golden State. He took Cleveland, and I feel really good. He was walking out, and I actually said to him, "Do you want to buy out right now for $50?" And he didn't take it, sadly. But I don't know. I think Golden State. This is an historic team. Your favorite word: 73 wins. All right.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming out guns blazing tomorrow. They are not happy. This whole the Draymond thing, I get it. All right, I get he punches a lot of dudes in the nuts.
That's his
All
thing.
right?
Like that's becoming his thing.
You can't punch dudes in the nuts. That being said, LeBron is a dick. LeBron instigated the entire thing. You don't step over another man. You just don't do it on a basketball court. It's like when guys dunk. All right, when you dunk and you come down off the rim, anytime somebody
So
lands on
You're
somebody,
saying LeBron shouldn't have stepped over Draymond.
absolutely not. He did it on purpose.
Right, but you made it sound like Draymond had initially stepped over.
No, oh my bad. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
he just that was a calculated move by LeBron.
And he did it perfectly.
All right, you can give him some credit for that. That's
Give him a
fine.
lot of credit for that.
But he's still, and then Draymond called him a bitch.
Yeah, which you can't do apparently.
And you can't, dude. I've been called a bitch like a billion times. That's like a compliment at this point. If somebody's gonna call me a bitch,
yeah, you're gonna have to explain that
if
one.
somebody calls me a bitch, that means I have angered them to a point of like they're thinking about me being a bitch and not thinking about basketball.
That's an interesting way to look at
And
it.
that is. This is psychology. This is like senior level psychology, bro. This isn't 101.
Right.
So
I heard a bunch of people break it down today and last night and the rule book and yeah, by the rules, everything 100%. It's a tech, and then Draymond's out or flagrant and he's out. He took a swing at him. That's fine. As weak as it may have been, if he had it back, I'm sure he wanted to take a little better swing. But LeBron timed that out perfectly with the walkover. You're right. He could have went right around.
Easily.
What they're not showing on the highlight is that Draymond instigated the thing. Everyone's saying it's a reactionary thing from Draymond because of what LeBron did, but LeBron was doing it based off of what Draymond did. So, it's all history now. He's out. It was stupid. I think it fell onto Adam Silver's lap.
there it is.
Here it is. I think it fell onto Adam Silver's lap.
Kiki Vandeweghe.
And Kiki, which is funny. Kiki Vandeweghe, you bring that up. Anyway, it fell onto his lap. Silver got involved and said, we got to do it. This is too good to not suspend him right now. We're going to pray Cleveland wins this game, go back. Maybe Cleveland gets a game 6, and then you get a game 7.
It worked
there
out.
you go.
It worked out perfectly for the NBA. All right, here's my question. So you know what Draymond was doing he had to be out of the building 2 hours prior to the game.
Yes.
Do you know what he did?
Yes, I did.
So
is
anybody
my
who
next
doesn't know,
question.
so they have a tunnel from Oracle Arena over to the Oakland Coliseum, like under the thing. So and there was a baseball game yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So he was up in a luxury box watching watching the game in a luxury box, at the baseball game. Here's my question. Was he drinking? What do you think? You think he was having a cocktail?
Yes.
You do?
Because, and I'll say this, if you asked me this question before I knew what had happened
Yeah.
in this situation, I would have said probably not. But, and here's the debate with the Oakland Coliseum. I've been there once before. I didn't sit in a luxury box. Everyone assumes they have bathrooms in these luxury boxes. Apparently they don't. You got to leave the luxury box. So he walked out to go take a leak, and everyone started chanting MVP. Okay,
really?
while he was going to the bathroom.
Okay.
He just seems like a fun guy. Like, he just seems like a good dude.
Would you have Snapchatted him taking a pee
See, that's a little weird.
and sent that to
But
me?
I'd send it to you. I wouldn't put
Absolutely.
it as my story. I wouldn't send it to V Money. But, yeah, I'd probably send it to you. I'd be like, check this out. It's Draymond. Now, here's my question. The fine that he would have had to pay had he been in Oracle would be $2,000.
Oh, that's it?
Why didn't he want to pay that?
But they probably would have removed him, though. Like, it's not like, hey, I'm going to pay this $2,000 and I'm going to hang out. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
They probably would have told him to leave.
My little mustache, some glasses,
I'm just curious. I was
a
saying this.
LeBron jersey. That
I
would
was
have
saying
been
this to
good.
people last night at the bar. I was like, would you rather watch the game, or would you rather watch like a 3/4 screen of Draymond watching the game,
Watching the game?
with sound, and then have the game in like a little box in the bottom right corner? That sounds way more entertaining to me.
There you go. There's your DirecTV right there.
Oh my
They
god!
probably would have had a channel for that.
I would have paid a lot. Oh, look at that. Good picture, Joe. So he was watching the game with Bob Myers, the GM. Went over there and sat with him. Another good friend of the show, Bob
I got
Myers.
Marshawn Lynch here.
That's Marshawn and Bob Myers
Wow.
sitting there front
Not
row
bad. Yeah, look at that.
watching the baseball game.
Not bad.
That's
Interesting.
I mean, it's just this whole playoffs has been like absurd. So, like, what's going on?
You gotta start sitting over there
Why?
because I'm looking back at you the whole time.
Well, you don't have to look at me.
All right.
We don't have
See,
to,
now
we
this
don't
is
have to have,
awkward.
we don't have to have eye
This
contact.
is so awkward now.
Just act like we're in different studios.
I feel like we're on the phone.
There-
Okay.
This is look at you. You're looking rigid now. you comfy?
Good?
I mean, the playoffs have honestly they've sucked.
They've been awful.
Aside from OKC, Golden State, and now at least as much as I want LeBron to lose, I'm glad they won. I'm glad we're getting some more games. Draymond watching the game from a baseball game is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know,
It's.
So.
I feel like we've been duped into thinking this is a good series. See, I can't even see you right now. I'm trying to like look at you like this. I feel like we've been duped into this being a good series because of all the drama and because of the superstars that are in this game. But 23-point average on these two games is what's going on, which is awful. 11 points has been the closest game. What was it, 61-61 at halftime last night, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, I was hoping this was going to be a hell of a game. Even with a few minutes left, I said, all right, here we go. And then, like Avery, my 2.5-year-old daughter, she loves it when Curry shoots. She does this. She goes, Curry. Because she used to do, the Kobe thing. And I said, all right, well, Kobe retired. Now it's all about Curry. She goes, okay, Curry. And I kept, while we were watching the game, I kept saying, Aves, Curry. And then he kept missing. He just kept missing. And then, I mean, you want to simplify it. Curry kept missing. They kept going down. LeBron would make. Kyrie would make.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the difference. You want to break it down, putting the ball in the hole more times than the other team. That's all that matters.
What do you think of the Curry shoes? The all whites.
I have a tough time with the all-white sneaks.
They look like orthopedic shoes.
Yeah.
For like a really old person.
Like they serve some kind of orthopedic function.
Maybe like he wasn't making basketball shoes. He was making bingo shoes. Like you wear.
Just trying to cover that market.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like you wear these shoes to bingo. You wear them to shuffleboard. You
Well,
wear,
what's funny
you
is
wear
you-
them to dinner at 4:00 in the afternoon.
You have all these guys coming out saying they like it, but it's the older guy. Like Pete Carroll came out today and like endorsed his shoes. You're just like, dude, no.
Oh, wow.
You get like Jim Harbaugh on that train too. Then you're like, all right, I made the wrong decision.
With his
Maybe I
chinos
should have signed
from
with
Old
Nike.
Navy on.
Should have signed with Nike.
That's pretty funny.
Jeez. I just love, again, like I have a love-hate with the analytics section. Baseball's boring as can be. Having more stats and more analysis of anything, I do not need. But I love seeing all these stats about last night's game with Kyrie. I mean, you're putting Kyrie's name up there with a Jordan, a Chamberlain, and I enjoy that. I like the whole historical aspect of it. I think it's great. Second half of Game 5, James and Irving, 39 points, 15 of 26 shooting. The Warriors as a team had 36 points. They outscored the Warriors in the second half by 3 points.
Well, we'll not be working for Game 6, which would be nice.
You didn't get that Thursday night shift?
No, I'm glad. It'll be nice to go out and watch that game. Are you gonna have cable by then at your house? Maybe I'll come down to the South Bay.
Yeah, we'll be down there.
Fire up the smoker.
Yeah.
We'll have a mostly
Done.
sports party.
I got 2 grills there right now.
Jarvis, Andra,
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's have a
Mostly
party.
sports barbecue at my new house.
Mostly sports barbecue.
Yeah.
See, now we're talking.
Yeah, no.
What
This
time
is
should we be
nice.
there? What should we bring? A little potluck? Like a casserole? Some potato salad? Veggie? No, leave it to Andra and
That's-
veggie burgers.
You seriously just asked that? That's like one thing not allowed in my backyard is Boca burgers.
I've never seen somebody disinvited so quickly.
I think even Avery, 2.5 years old, will be like, Dad, what the hell is this?
What is this?
Who
thing?
is this lady?
What's a Boca burger?
Yeah, we'll be Thursday night. We'll have everything fired up, cooking with gas, ready to roll.
So you moved in?
No, we're like halfway moved in right now.
All right.
Like 40-50%. We're doing the big move, like all the big stuff on Friday. Luckily, we don't have too many big things. We're getting like the couch is staying, all the dressers and all that stuff is staying because Jen said we're moving into a new house. We need all new stuff. I said, yeah, all right. I'm not gonna fight you.
Have you slept there?
No, not yet.
No.
No, there's painters doing their thing, electricians. There's stuff all over the place.
When's the first sleepover?
Probably Friday night.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you playing? You're playing tennis this weekend?
I believe so.
That's funny. I told you to sign up for this weekend, and I think we're playing separate days.
I know. I'm playing Saturday.
You should get to play with Jonas.
So exciting. I'm
But you know what's funny
over the moon thrilled.
is I'm going to be sitting at that house all day Saturday, waiting for carpet people and electricians and HVAC and all that stuff. Where we're playing in Manhattan Beach is like
Around the
3
corner.
minutes from my house.
So when you're sitting at your place watching the electricians, electric, whatever they do, and the painters paint, are you pulling up Postmates to see like the new restaurants? that are
No,
popping
that's
up
a
on
good point. I haven't
Postmates?
done
You're
that
pulling
yet.
up Grubhub.
Haven't done that,
That would
yet.
be like the first thing I would do.
That's like the most exciting.
It's most exciting, like new
Yeah.
restaurants.
New restaurants are the
Holy
be- yeah.
Shit.
It's within walking distance. We're right by Rosecrans off the
Mhm.
405. like Chipotle, Jersey Mike's, Costco, right there.
What's your
Great
pizza
food.
spot called? Blaze Pizza?
Blaze Pizza. It's like a 800 degrees type thing.
I tried to go to 800 degrees 2 nights ago.
And what, you didn't make it?
9:30 at night. 40 people deep.
Oh, dude, you can't
The
do
line.
that because everyone that's the place to be at that time because then everyone goes across the street to Bungalow.
What, they're like loading up on pizza before they go to the bungalow?
Yeah, they have some dinner and then head over.
I don't know about that move.
We went in there one time. Yeah, right around not
suspect
at
move.
9:30, but like 7:30, 8:30. Place was slammed. It was like a club in there.
It was very disappointing.
I was the oldest person in the place.
I ended up at Tender Greens
I love
with
tender greens.
Andy Dick in front of me. In line.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
He was pretty annoying. Like, he took a long time to order. I think
See,
it
I
was him and
would
his daughter.
appreciate a Snapchat of
And
that.
his daughter was kind of cute. She was of age, so I can say that.
Yeah, doesn't stop you.
I don't know how he procreated that, because he is just a weird looking dude.
Yeah, he is.
But yeah, it kind of annoyed me. Like, he ordered a lot of shit, and then he would like walk down the Tender Greens line and say, "Oh, what are the veggies here?" It's like, bro, you have people
Make up
behind
your
you.
mind and
Let's go.
move on. Yeah.
Yes.
I just got kicked out of 800 degrees for some 21-year-olds. Did you see V in 800 degrees that night?
Who,
On the way to
Vanessa?
the bungalow?
V Money was at the bungalow.
I would assume. You're of age for that. Nothing. Never mind. So I sent her a Snapchat earlier. I had to take a different route to get to the studio today because I was down in the South Bay. And I'm sitting there, I'm looking up, and there was I was in Englewood.
Mhm.
Huge billboard for a concert. And the one name that jumped out was Fetty Wap.
Fetty
My
Wap.
boy Fetty. Who was it else? Fetty and who else?
Ty Dolla $2 Chainz.
2 Chainz.
2 Chainz.
Dude, this concert was
I
crazy.
love 2 Chainz.
This concert was crazy.
So much scisrup going on in that concert.
Sizzrup. Do the people still drink Sizzrup?
Hell yeah.
Have you either of you guys ever had Sizzrup? You have. Any good?
What is it? So it's like NyQuil mixed with like
Like codeine, right?
vodka? What's that? Lean. I'll have to Google that one. Your little fruit basket over there would look good with a little bit of like Ketel One poured over that.
Oh, this is the best.
Yeah,
You get the chili powder on top,
that's nice.
and then you get the chili water at the end. This guy put a lot of chili on there.
Dude, I don't know.
Anyway, all right, so I got to gloat again. Bachelor, nailed it.
Yeah.
They had to keep Chad around. They had to keep him around.
Yeah, but he's gone now.
Now he's gone. But after the episode I watched.
You're like, you can't be 2 weeks behind. I mean, come on. This didn't happen last night. This happened last week.
Oh, so you haven't even been here for a couple weeks. He asked me to watch it.
But I saw that you guys are watching it. I was like,
He asked me to watch it so we could talk about it. So I watched the episode when Chad, the Chad episode. Have you watched it yet or no?
yeah, I watched it. The last one was when they did
All right.
ESPN with Chad, and he like.
Oh, and he said she was naggy. You're being a little naggy.
Yeah.
She
But I
was.
said they can't kick him off right now. They're going to keep him around. And she's going to say, oh, I'm not sure what's going on. I need some time to decide. I'm going to keep you around for a little bit.
She was being naggy, if we're being honest.
It was, she's awful. Like, she's brutal.
don't.
She's boring. Like, and I said, I wish I had time today. Next week, I'm going to try and get these numbers. I want to see the numbers. Chad episode, right after that, and then the episode after Chad left. Because I told you, guys like me aren't going to watch this crap without him on
I'm
it.
borderline. I might be out.
Just like that. Even
I don't
and you're
know,
invested, too.
I'm gonna see how it goes, like without Chad.
Okay.
But like I said, like I couldn't be more excited for Chad on Bachelor in Paradise.
Yeah, that's what.
I mean, he's gonna be so jacked. He's taking steroids right now
Yeah.
while we're doing this show. He is injecting himself.
See, now what's funny is when I came home after the last show, Jen was watching that next episode because it's, a 26-hour event that you have to watch.
Always is.
So I said to her, I was like, oh, so Chad did this. She kind of looked at me funny. And I'm like, oh, well, this is when Chad, he does this. And Jen was like, what the hell are you talking about? How do you know this? I'm like, well, I watched the episode and this and that. And I said, now here's the thing.
After all of your cover-ups last week,
I know.
when
I
you
said
rewound it. And you
Dude, I
made sure
lasted.
she
I lasted
didn't
like 3 seconds. I was like, I watched this. I watched it. I was so excited to tell her. Anyway, then I said, so here's the deal. And I didn't give you credit for this. I passed this off as my own at first. I said, now here's the thing. It's all about this. And I walked her through the steps, and she's looking at me like I'm insane. And I said, and the final piece of the puzzle. That's he's a beast. I said the final piece of the puzzle for this guy is to get that coveted Bachelor in Paradise, cast on that. And she's looking. She's like, "How the f do you know that?" I'm like, "Oh, Jay told me everything. I know." She's like, "No, that's exactly what this guy is probably trying to do."
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll watch that. You might need to remind me that I got to watch it, but I'll check that out.
Bachelor in Paradise is fantastic.
Is it going to be disappointing because everyone's going to have this expectation
It's
of him?
Well, that'll be the interesting thing to see what how. So these people go on these shows, right? And they're cut off from social media. They don't really know. They don't know how the world is perceiving them until they come out of that bubble.
Uh-huh.
All right. So now he sees what his actions have produced as far as people's opinions of him. So he's either going to go one of two ways. He's either going to amp it up and say, fuck it, I'm going to be the ultimate ham bad guy, or he's going to tone it down and be like, you know what, I'm a nice guy. My mom passed away. I was going through a tough time.
Throw the curveball.
I'm a teddy bear. So it'll be interesting to see what version of him we get. But preferably, I'd like to get both versions.
If he has a little bit to drink.
A little
Jekyll and
schizophrenic.
Hyde.
Yeah, a little Jekyll and Hyde is always good TV.
Yeah.
Jarvis, we'll miss you, buddy.
Where does he go? I know he runs out of here.
He runs out of here at 7:51 every time.
Where does he go?
He goes to another show.
Goes to another show.
That wasn't in the contract.
Dude.
What other show? And they get him for an hour and 9 minutes. We get him for 51 minutes.
Oh, sorry.
What the shit is this?
Oh, V Money not feeling appreciated right now.
B money.
I'm so hurt that Chad's gone.
It's I'm telling you. He is one of my favorite contestants ever in the history of the show. I mean, he's such good TV. And that's the point. They the producers of the show realize how bad of a job they did casting, because we've seen they force fed us Chad, because they realized quickly that all these other dudes are a bunch of zeros. They're a bunch of zeros. They're a bunch of squares. They all have the same fucking haircut. That floppy thing that people are doing now. And
You could do that. One little butt.
dude.
Oh, welcome back. You missed us. We missed you too.
We missed him. He's
Get in
back.
here.
We guilted him. We guilted him into coming back. But yeah, so I mean, they realize that this show is going to go. Even all the articles I read about the show are all kind of saying the same thing as well. They realize that Chad's great.
Yeah.
Everybody else.
Oh, for this
sucks.
show, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing, when the guy was yelling at Aaron Rodgers' brother, when he's like, dude, you're a nobody. You throw a piece of leather. I was just waiting for the dude to be like, yeah, and you would trade positions with me in a heartbeat to throw a piece of leather.
Yeah, but he didn't play professional
say
football.
No, I know. This is your thing with the non-professional. Cody, by the way, friend of the show, is going to play for the Red Sox organization.
Oh, really?
They called him up last night. He's going up
Congrats.
to their AA
Congrats,
affiliate
Cody
in
Decker.
Portland.
Well deserved.
Let's go Yankees.
Let's go Yankees.
He's playing for the Red Sox.
It's still June. No baseball talk.
When do we talk
It's a
baseball?
little early.
We didn't even talk baseball during the World Series last year.
September.
No,
We'll
stop
tease it in September.
Your Phillies are going to be in the running.
Phillies are
Supposed to be
on
the
fire.
worst team in baseball.
Phillies are on fire.
Yeah.
U.S.
U.S. Open. Give me your. We talked Masters. We talked. Or are you done with Bachelor? Or you want to keep going on how much
I
Chad's
could go
great?
for hours.
I know you
Bachelor,
can. That's
man.
why.
I mean, you guys
I was
just cut me.
quick
Just-
debate in my head whether or not I should even turn around.
Last
and
point
ask
on
you.
The Bachelor. You know my obsession with food and what goes on in these movie sets and their craft services. It was cool that Chad was eating. I've never seen anybody eat on any of these shows in any of the years. And here's the other thing: who are these dudes giving him a hard time for eating? Are they they have body issues or something? Oh my God, look at Chad. He's eating all the charcuterie. It was I've never seen guys get catty about what other another guy is eating.
I don't remember that. I remember he was eating something. I thought it was like a chimichanga.
Whatever. Well, it looked amazing.
I think it was just like a big sweet potato.
Oh, no, he ate.
That was a little weird.
Ate a gigantic sweet potato.
I thought that was a little weird.
Yeah. When the guy compared him to Hitler, and he goes, be a little less Hitler, be a little more Mussolini.
I was like, this guy's great. This guy, just let him talk. Just let him go.
But yeah, I would like to see a little more behind the scenes stuff like that. What are they serving? What's the bar look like? What are their drink options?
Well, that's what I asked you because I know how long they're up there for. There were 2 dates that were singles and then one big group date. And I asked you what the hell they're doing the rest of the week. These guys are just eating and drinking and laying by the pool?
It's not a week. That's the thing. I thought about that after you brought it up. It's not a whole week. Though they're filming this stuff in 3 or 4 days. So a week show, a week passes, but they're filming all that.
So there's not one day when they're like, oh, we got nothing to do today.
Dude, this thing's over in 2 months.
Because that's what I asked you, what she does.
Or
the
less.
guys at least have other
6
dudes to
weeks
hang
it's
out with.
over.
What does she do all day?
She's doing
You said she's getting primped and all that
She's getting
stuff.
primped. She's doing press. She's probably getting more surgery done. She's awful.
More surgery done.
She needs to be a little sluttier.
Why did they pick her? What was the hook to get her?
Well,
The old bachelor said, "I love you" to both of them, but didn't pick her.
so yes.
I love you, but I love someone else more.
Yeah, so there you go. If I go on this show and this chick was told I love you by a dude and then dumped her, I don't want this girl's baggage.
That's a lot of baggage.
That's a lot of baggage. Give me the girl that finished third, the girl Kayla. See, that's where they fucked up. Kayla's like, they always cry about minorities. There's no minorities. She was like, I think she's like Filipino or something. Like, they would have answered and solved a lot of like problems with the liberals. It would have been just a better casting. And like the girl Caitlin Bristow, I think her name was. She picked the guy Sean that looked like Ryan Gosling with the big nose, Ryan Schnozling. She was like a super slut. She was making out with I think she made out with Chris Harrison too. She made out with everybody.
That's what I wanted to ask. Yeah. Like, what kind of tails is Harrison pulling down during these things?
I mean, he's
probably not during the Bachelorette.
He's
Maybe.
Divorced. He's divorced now.
Like within the last 10 years.
I mean, if I'm Chris Harrison and I just got divorced, like every girl that gets kicked off, like I'm saying, hey, come back.
Meet him by the door.
Come on back to my trailer. I got a lot of snacks. We can talk about it. We can, I'll make it all okay.
Now, does he get a room in the house, or does he go back to his place in L.A. every night?
I bet he has like a mansion in Malibu, just down the hill from.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
they
they got to put him up? I'm sure. This isn't his first contract negotiation.
Dude, he's like green screened in there at this point. Like, he's just mailing it in every
thank
week.
God, again, like I say, thank God he reminds us that it's the last rose. Like, that's huge.
Ladies, final rose of the evening. I mean, it's like.
Thank God, man. I don't know what I would do.
I think it's a Weekend at Bernie's situation. I think he's actually dead.
He's Bernie Lomax.
And they literally just wheel his carcass out there.
One of the most underrated 80s movies.
And CGI him.
What, not the second one, with Barry Bostwick.
Yeah, but they filmed that in St. Thomas, my old stomping grounds. So I have a soft spot in my heart.
So, like, what kind of tail do you think he's pulling? Pretty solid or none?
Tens.
Yeah.
Tens across the board.
Tens of just, like, mentally distraught, unstable, just ruined women.
And the full range of women, too, because he's getting, like, the 50-year-olds, the 55-year-olds, the housewives.
50-year-olds?
And he's also...
On that show?
Like the women, like that are watching that. No, I mean, I'm not saying I'm saying outside of the show, the tale that he.
I'm just talking about show.
Oh, I don't know. I would say that over under a number of girls Chris Harrison has had sex with from The Bachelor
per season. Break it down to per season.
No, I was gonna go total.
Oh,
no more than 3.
Get out of here! I'll take that over all day.
He realizes that he hit the jackpot. He's not gonna fuck up like his winning lottery.
He did hit the jackpot. He does have the easiest job in America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I wonder if now, like, he'll go out there and be like, ladies, like, shit, I screwed up that line. Go again.
Yeah.
Ladies, gentlemen, this is the final rose of the evening. Be like, all right, got it.
See, this is where you have to tune in.
A million times.
You have to tune in and watch Unreal, the show I was telling you about on Lifetime. Andre, do you watch that?
I don't know if I'm ready for Lifetime.
Yeah, it's unbelievably great. Like a total spot on. So the guy that plays the Chris Harrison part in Unreal, the show's called Everlasting, the fake show. Like, girls get kicked off, and he, like, invites them back. He's like, oh, ladies, party at my house. So that's what I imagine Chris Harrison is doing. I hope, anyway.
But we haven't heard one thing about it.
Well,
like, not one girl's tried to make herself famous by saying, I was the one who slept with Harrison.
We didn't hear anything about Derek Jeter either, and we know Derek Jeter's got some skeletons in his closet.
No, he doesn't. He's Derek Jeter.
Nobody's perfect.
Derek Jeter is. You're fighting with the wrong guy on this one.
Maybe.
All right. So, U.S. Open.
Yes. I'm excited.
We talked a lot of Masters.
Beyond excited.
Why are you so excited for this U.S. Open?
Because it's in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
It's at Oakmont.
Yep.
Maybe the hardest course in America. And not like hard in the way that Chambers Bay was with like tricked out. Like it was a miniature golf course with windmills on the green and just ugly. Oakmont is just high rough, 300-yard par 3. Oh, you went deep. You're leaning back right now.
I can't sit like this. You gotta. I'm staring back at you to try and talk.
Are we in a contest to see who can go like closer to the wall?
I gotta sit over there next week. I can't do this anymore. I gotta switch that seat to over here. Maybe you sit here, I'll sit there, or you sit there. It'd be great if you actually sat across from me. So like we could this is perfect.
You're in total rearrange mode. I can tell you're moving. It's just moving people around. Jen, put the couch over here. Put the lazy boy over here.
You think I have any say in where that couch goes?
True. You have to say where your grill goes.
So this is it. This is where I have my say.
And where your TV
I want
goes.
you over there next week. We try it next week?
I'm not moving.
What the fuck, dude?
I
can't. I'm talking to you. I'm looking back behind you.
I've found my sweet spot right here.
This is bullshit.
I'm super cozy.
Who's running this place?
Vanessa.
Can I put a chair there next week? Does that work? So I can look at him that way? That'll work.
What's the obsession with looking at me?
Dude, because I feel like we're talking on the phone. I'm looking straight ahead here. I'm not going to turn around and look
Bro,
at you.
you're old enough to remember that people used to talk on the phone.
I know.
I mean, you remember that. You told me a great story last week on the drive home about how you used to call your high school girlfriend's house, and her mother hated you.
Yeah.
And she had like one, hey, Mrs. Whatever, it's good to, hey, how's your day going? Is
How you doing?
so-and-so there? She, Mike's on the phone.
Yeah. And then if Katie was ever like, "Hey, let me run. I gotta like call me back in 10 minutes." I'm like, "Shit, I already used my Hey, Mrs. Mullen, how you doing?"
That's so
All right,
great, dude.
Moving on. Jeez, how'd we go from U.S. Open to this that quick?
Sorry. U.S. Open, very excited. I think Fox is like 1 year in. They're gonna nail it this year. It's gonna be just that much better.
Yeah, I thought it was cool last year. Everybody hated it.
Yeah, I'm not a big Joe Buck guy. I mean, that was kind of my problem. And Greg Norman was terrible. I mean, here's the thing. Here's the biggest problem with Joe Buck and Greg Norman last year was on the 18th hole, Dustin Johnson misses a putt, all right, to win the U.S. Open and then lose the U.S. Open. He's got Greg Norman sitting next to him, arguably the greatest choker in the history of fucking sports. And he doesn't ask him, how does Dustin Johnson feel right now? Because Greg Norman has firsthand experience.
Yeah.
What an oversight.
There's a lot going on out here, by the
There's
way.
a lot going on, man.
A lot
Busy
happening.
studio. A lot of traffic.
They all ditched me for the first 15 minutes. I was in here by myself for a little while, just talking to a camera like a psychopath. No, you're 100% right about that. To have Greg Norman right there and not ask that, I wonder what went through his head. If he said, "I'm going to spare this guy right now and not bring it up,"
No, that's
it's
what
not
he's
like
getting
it just
paid all the-
happened. Yeah,
That's what he's. I mean, that's why he's there.
yeah.
That's why you have professional athletes be the color people, because they can talk about the emotions that these guys are feeling.
Because you might get lucky and have a situation like that fall right on your lap.
And it did.
Yeah.
This year, however, Buck is back, but they have Paul Azinger and
Yeah.
Brad Faxon.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if you remember them doing telecasts on ABC back in the day. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're super funny. They have a great rapport. I just hope Joe Buck doesn't fuck it up and just lets them do their thing. Fox will definitely have, like, weird drones flying around. They'll have, like, the Fox robot, I'm sure. They have microphones in the cups,
Yeah, see, that's what I like.
so you can hear some stuff being said.
Because we've been following on Snapchat Ricky Fowler, and he's been taking us through recently a few of the practice rounds and all that. It's just entertaining to watch because it's these guys being themselves.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I like. I even said, last week that I was watching some of on the Showtime, behind the quest for the cup. I never watch hockey, but I was watching this because it showed what these guys are doing in the locker rooms. And they don't have half times, but in between the periods and all that. Sports Illustrated had a great article 2 months ago. It took the Capitals team and walked you through basically hour by hour what they do on a home and away back-to-back. And it was just so I enjoy that
You're
stuff.
a
I
voyeur
love
by
that
nature,
stuff.
aren't you? You're a watcher.
No, just like with this stuff. Like, there's not enough coverage of that. So when you talk about,
Do you ever go to the promenade and just sit there and watch people walk by?
what am I, 90 years old wearing Steph Curry 2s? Come on.
Good point. Because I do that occasionally.
So, yeah, but you live right there.
True.
And you throw in a podcast and you go sit there and you enjoy.
Just watching just the human element.
But I enjoy, like you say, microphones in the cups.
Yes.
I like that. First of all, what better sound is there than a ball falling into a cup on a golf course?
Yeah.
It's fantastic, especially after a 30-foot putt. It's great. But I enjoy, I love hearing the caddies and golfers interact. I love hearing that.
It humanizes all these guys.
Absolutely.
And that's what we all want.
Yeah.
Like, we all want to be behind the scenes. We want to know what everybody is doing at all times. Transparency.
But
which is fun in the sporting theater, but in regular life, a little mystery is a good thing.
Right. Well, I'm talking about the U.S. Open of golf right
Yeah.
now. That's what we're talking about. And the hockey players and basketball, football, all that stuff. That's why everybody goes nuts about Hard Knocks. Because
Yeah.
you see these rookies showing up to camp and what they're doing when at their downtime. You got this one guy, I forget who it was. It wasn't DeBrickashaw Ferguson. It was some dude, 370 pounds. All he was doing was getting off the field, showering, and going to read, like, Harry Potter books. Like, I think that's so cool. A guy who's get paid
Really?
to rip someone's head off is like all he cares
Okay.
about is getting through the 7th book of Harry Potter. He's not reading his playbook, stuff like that. I enjoy that.
Okay.
That to hear Jordan Spieth talk to his caddy about, wind conditions and this and that, like, we can relate to that. We play golf. Like, it's all very, and you learn a few things too.
And
You know?
the score this week is going to be, I'm going to predict like 6 over is going to win. I mean, this course is like unbelievable. I mean, the
Right.
greens are like putting on a tabletop. That's how fast they are. The
Well, that's
rough is
one
high.
thing, not to cut you off. I apologize.
No, it's all good.
TV does that zero justice. I think Fox is going to try to
Yes.
give us some sense of just how difficult these greens are. because if you've played even a little bit of casual golf, you're not going to have any sense of how these greens, it's the putting on glass on a tabletop. And it's not just looking at the cup saying, I'm going to go 2 inches to the right here. There's peaks, valleys, ups, downs, ebbs and flows where you have to make like 26 decisions on where that ball is going before you even hit it. And then you have to hit it right. And I hope Fox does a good job of explaining that to everybody on how difficult that is.
They're at least going to try, which is the best part. I mean, here's the thing. The U.S. Open is, I believe Johnny Miller said last year, you just don't fall out of a tree and do and just broadcast golf. And that upset Joe Buck. Because the very first day of the telecast, he made a joke about falling out of a tree. So Fox doesn't give a shit about upsetting the old guard and all that stuff,
right?
Which is going to be fun. I mean, it's not going to be like CBS with Jim Nantz speaking in hushed tones
yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. It's a great week of the year. Lots of DraftKings, $1 million they're giving away, $20 buy-in.
Did our tournament fill up yet or no?
No, a couple spots are left open,
All
but
right,
it's
I gotta
fun
do
when
that.
they have the possible winnings box above your upcoming
Oh,
tournament.
that's awesome.
So I have a possible $1.3 million coming my way.
That's good.
It is good.
How many contests are you in right now?
I have 3 lineups.
Okay.
And I'm funding it all through my NASCAR money.
Which is bizarre because I was talking
killing
before
it.
you got here about, I don't know how I went from moving in Time Warner to esports, but I was talking a little esports on the way in here.
Love little esports.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my breakdown of the Open.
Make your pick. Who's taking this down?
I'm going to go with a little Jason Day. Keep it simple. Number 1 player in the world.
Right.
He's playing great. I heard him on the JJ Redick podcast yesterday. He was a great interview. Super interesting dude. You think of golfers, like these professional golfers, they grow up with silver spoons in their mouths, country clubs. This guy grew up poor as shit in Australia. He said every year he would have $5 go to the thrift store to buy his clothes for the entire year. And, so when he first came out on the tour, he self-admittedly, and you never hear athletes say this, he goes, I really cared about the money. I was always looking at how much money I was going to win.
Right.
And, he won obviously a lot of money, but it also hindered him to a point where it was he was just more concerned with that than he was about winning. And now he's kind of put it all together, married a chick from Ohio, lives in Ohio. I feel like the guy's in a good place.
See, that's the stuff I like. I like it. You talk about humanizing these guys. When they say, yeah, it's about the money. That's what's great. I always say the pressure putt isn't, Tiger to win his 7th major or whatever. Mm-hmm. The pressure putt comes on Friday afternoon when it's the guy who's playing out of his mind, who's ranked 180th in the world. He needs to make this putt to make the cut to get into enough money to get his family to the next event, 3 states over.
For sure.
That's the exciting stuff, and that's the stuff they never show. So I love hearing stuff like that. It's about the money. It is about the money.
Dark horse, Brendan Grace, 50-1.
Really?
Brendan Grace. Playing well. Played well at the Open last year. 50-1. He's just a guy that I like. He hits it straight. He can putt it.
See, I haven't even done any research on this yet. I love Rory, Matsuyama too.
Matsuyama.
And Ricky Fowler.
Why Ricky Fowler? He's playing terrible.
That's why.
How
He's
much
gonna put it together?
How much would I have to pay you to wear the Ricky Fowler bright orange outfit
The orange?
with the flat brim and go out in public?
See, I don't mind the orange. It's that flat brim that is the worst. It's
See,
the worst.
That's the great thing about the golf galleries. I love the old dudes that dress like they're going to play golf.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's
You get that all the time. And then you look down and you see they're actually wearing golf shoes. And you're like, dude, come on. No, but don't even get me started. The flat brim, I know we're getting a little out of touch with today's youth, but the flat brim and the stickers on the hat might be the dumbest thing. You're not wearing a flat brim stickers on you. We know you got it at Lids, dude. Your baseball hat's $34. We get it.
Look at that flat brim.
That's not a flat brim. Come on.
There we go.
It's stupid. These kids are idiots. A flat brim. Get out of here. You look ridiculous.
You're such a fucking old man. Aging before my eyes.
It's horrible.
Homeowner.
It's horrible.
Do you have spackle? Do you know how to spackle?
Of course I know how to spackle. We gotta leave an apartment. You don't know how to spackle?
Hell no. Do you know how to caulk? Do you have a caulk gun?
I have a caulking gun. Dude, I have a drill. It's the greatest thing I ever bought. I bought that. Oh, you were with me when I bought the drill. Greatest thing ever. I ran in Home Depot.
I stayed in the car.
Yeah. You didn't want to go to Home Depot?
No.
In case someone was like, Mister, do you want to try our new spackle? You'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't
My
belong
head would
here.
explode if I walked into a Home Depot.
It's fun, man. It's fun. I get to do all this shit to the house. That's cool. It's fun.
I always liked as a kid the balances, like with the water
Yeah,
to
yeah.
line it up. I don't
My
know.
drill has a balance in the drill.
Really?
Yeah. It's
That's-
maybe 2016, man. It's crazy.
Fancy.
It's crazy.
Vanessa's raising her hand. Does she have a question?
Oh, no, sorry.
Just stretching. Getting a deep stretch.
What do you say we take a break and then have Andra come on? She's been gone for way too long.
She has been.
And then we
gone.
need a V-Money update
We
on
have
the bread guy.
A lot of catching up to do with people's relationship status.
Yeah.
Super excited.
So we're going to go from mostly sports to mostly relationship advice.
Mostly love.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a break on Mostly Sports.
Welcome to the new sound of online radio. Welcome to the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network. 'Cause you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven. A mix of today's hits and hard-to-find favorites, combined with the most entertaining and intriguing talk anywhere. This is your sound. This is the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network at UBNradio.com.